Hey everyone, this is Ludwig Kitzman, Editor-in-Chief of Joystiq.com. I'm joined by my fellow Bayonetta lover, Anthony John Agnello.
Hello everybody, Joystiq Community Manager here. I don't love Bayonetta, and by don't love, I mean I have the Bayonetta art book on my desk and am very, very excited about Bayonetta 2, which has been playable for a while now, which is actually very surprising considering the history of the first game.
It feels like it's been a long time coming, but I think it's exciting for anyone who has been following Platinum Games' output. They have made some of the best, most exciting, and certainly the most bizarre action games that have graced modern consoles. One of their signature titles, of course, was Bayonetta, which came out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and that was through publisher Sega. They had a deal for multiple Platinum games, and as you recall, Bayonetta was actually the most successful one out of those. It sold multiple millions of copies, but there was some question about the sequel. When would we get another Bayonetta game from Sega? And the answer turns out to be we will not be getting another sequel from Sega.
Yeah, Platinum Games had actually started pre-production on Bayonetta 2 shortly after the release of 1, and they wanted to do everything again. They wanted that same sort of very bizarre art style. You know, the lead character is this insanely tall witch who wears a cat suit made out of her own hair that turns into demons. It's weird. But Sega didn't want to double down. They thought it would be a little bit too much of a risk, and plus they were starting to gear up for the new round of consoles. And in comes Nintendo, who decides to pick up Bayonetta 2 and publish it for Platinum Games in partnership with Sega. And the game has been playable since E3 2013. It's coming out this October, and it's really, really good looking. Very, very exciting looking game, and it maintains the excellent, sort of smooth, balletic feel of the first Bayonetta. The combat in these games is the centerpiece, and it just feels like nothing else.
Exactly. As with other Platinum games, you constantly feel that there's this visual overload going on. It's very much like the artists took over and ran rampant in the game design. At its most basic level, there's an excellent action game. It runs at 60 frames per second, the controls are extremely fluid, there's a really tight game between defense and dodging and counterattacking, and there are of course Bayonetta shoes, which double as guns.
Yeah, Scarborough Fair, the coolest named weapons since Devil May Cry. And Bayonetta, of course, has roots in Devil May Cry. The original creator of Bayonetta, who is not directing this one, he is merely a producer on this one, Hideki Kamiya, created Devil May Cry, and that game was very much defined by a very rigid, demanding, and disciplined feel to combat and action, and even, you know, the flow of the game itself. Exploration in that game was very, very rigid. You had to go to this place, and there were some secrets here and there. But Bayonetta 2 feels far smoother, far more improvisational. It is the jazz of 3D combat games. And like a great jazz song, it lends itself to these very sort of outsized, insane moments where things just go nuts, and you sort of feel the game go off the rails and become something totally unexpected. Like when you have to surf this time? You have to surf in Bayonetta 2?
Exactly. There's a rampant, cheeky defiance of reality in these games, and you get a taste of this when you see Bayonetta's breakdancing move, where she sort of just spirals around on the floor, shooting in all directions with her gun shoes, and then finishes with a photo snapshot of her perfect pose. This game, just like the others, you change gears a lot. Sometimes you surf, sometimes it transforms into a Panzer Dragoon-esque rail shooter. Sometimes you fight midair. The game transitions between these mini-games, and I hesitate to call them mini-games because they're still very much part of the action gameplay that runs throughout the whole series, but it just feels so smooth and so unexpected sometimes that you don't even notice how different things are becoming. They are so good at keeping you enraptured and just like I said, overloading your senses with really really quick, fast-paced combat.
Also, really cool thing that you should be excited about in the Wii U version is the fact that Bayonetta 1 is being repackaged with this. So you'll get to see sort of the craziness that came in the original and sort of is continued here. You'll get such pleasurable moments as a giant Joe Pesci lookalike screaming about his crushed car when Bayonetta throws a dead angel on top of it. That's a real thing that happens. And there are actually some cool bonuses this time. There are costumes based on classic Nintendo characters that have been put back into Bayonetta 1. It's pretty cool that they've gone all out with bringing this franchise unexpectedly back on Wii U.
So what we're looking at is yet another promising Platinum action game. I think this one looks to be one of their craziest. I'm hoping to see whether it outdoes the wonderful 101.
That's a high bar to set. Question though, Luddy, are you a short-hair Bayonetta guy or a long-haired Bayonetta guy?
You know what? I'm going to go with short hair. Short hair is the way to go. Clearly her combat has improved because of it. Alright, how do I usually start these things? Hello, blah blah blah.
Hello, this is blah blah blah.
Hey guys!
Hey! Have you guys seen the hottest new games? Have you guys seen the hottest new Nintendos?